Hello, I welcome everybody who has joined us. Media Center Ukraine of Ukrinform is going on with its work. This is 229th day of the fight for our freedom. And now we will be speaking, we are in touch with Yurii Ihnat, Speaker of the Air Forces Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. We'll be speaking about the Russian missile shellings and strikes done by the aggressor country. Hello, Yurii. Good day, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Yurii, I would like to start with the gratitude to our air forces from all of the Ukrainians, because these days were overcomplicated for us. We really value the work and security which, if possible, when it's possible, you provide us with. So we thank you. So what is taking place now? We do understand that today we had the air raid alert for more than 5 hours. The Russians are going on with the missile strikes against our country. What's the current situation? Well, first of all, I would like to thank you as well for the support which you are providing us with, because you are the institution, and we are the institution which is trusted most of all, the armed forces of Ukraine and the air forces in particular. The defense of our airspace is highly valued by the society and the higher command, by the Commander-in-Chief and the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. We really deserve for the words of support, and I would like to thank you that you are doing that in Telegram channels and other social media. So now coming to the situation, 84 missiles, first 43 of them were shot down, 26 Shahed drones were shot down as well. This is the first incredibly cool outcome in the percentage. We can see the increase of the shutdown of those drones, and even the name Shahed drone kamikaze, the name itself really makes us worried, but still the work of our air defense is really good now, and people are gaining experience, as well as we did since February with the cruise missiles which the enemy first had, and now we're working on tactical approaches. We find new means and methods how to fight against the drones kamikaze. So still the main attention has changed. The kamikaze are not that scary as the weapons of the Russian forces are, because they would like to aim the objects with the high precision and long-range weapons. This is how they conduct those terrorist acts. This is the only proper name for those actions against the center with the high precision weapons, which in fact aims for the radius of 10 meters. And of course, this strike against Kyiv center was very demonstrative. The rest of the strikes are done against the objects of critical infrastructure, electrical substations, or any other power stations. Lots of aspects of the activities of people and the life of the Ukrainians depends on that. This is both heating and water and gas supply. A month ago, the propaganda channels announced about that by the Kremlin minions, that they will delve us deep into the darkness. Well, but they got the repulsion in all of the spheres, so they are in these terroristic methods of fighting against Ukrainian people. So as of today, this attack went on. Yesterday we had a good result already in repulsion, and today since the early morning, since 3 a.m. till 5:30 a.m., there was the attack of the drone kamikaze in the southern direction. 8 drones were shot down by the servicemen and the means of the armed forces and the operational command south. This is a successful outcome. Some of the drones achieved their aim, but still the vast majority was shot down. And the first wave of the attacks were by the strategic fighters, jet fighters from Astrakhan and from other regions of Russia. Those are strategic missile carriers which are capable to have 8 to 12 missiles on their board. HA-555, which are capable, well, one missile costs $30 million. This is the price of Russian aggression. So this missile can get to 5.5 thousand kilometers and aim the targets with the precision of 10 meters of the radius. So approximately 4 of those missiles were shot, and all of them were demolished by our defense forces in the south of our state. The second wave of the attack, this air raid alert, which was taking place for several hours till 1 p.m., also included some of the strikes against lots of objects on the territory of Ukraine. You could see the notifications from the local authorities that the air defense systems are working. So at least 14 cruise missiles were added to those 4 which were destroyed in the morning. So we used the air assault forces and also the fighters, the aircrafts. We also used them to shoot down those missiles. And the units from the whole country, the Air Command West, Center, South, and East. This is the wonderful result both yesterday and today. So we do express our respect to our defenders. Yurii, there are some of the opinions among the experts who say that the today's morning attack was first of all created to hunt for our air defense systems. That is why the missiles were changing their direction. What will you say about this new tactics of the occupiers? I would tell you this hunt for the anti-aircraft defense, or it would be reasonable by drones kamikaze, because to hunt air defense by the drones with the speed of 120 plus kilometers per hour wouldn't be that possible. It would be possible if they used any of the tricks, but the missiles, which costs are expensive, but in fact they do not calculate money. The sanctions do not let them produce those missiles more and more. But really there is the high probability and the threat that those missiles can target air defense as well. But they will not also, our air defense forces will not stay in one place. Our air defense systems, Buk and S-300, will change their positions. They will use their own tactical tricks to counter those missile attacks. It's not that easy to destroy them, so it turns out to be totally the opposite. But the data which they get both from the aerospace and land intelligence, they're trying to find out the routes for those missiles from the Black Sea, for the Caliber missiles, and for the Iskander-K. This is not the ballistic, this is the cruise missile. And for HA-101 and others, they provide the routes for trying to find the bottlenecks of our weakness points of our defense. This is how the enemy is using this data to get through the air defense system in some of the directions and achieve as much result as possible to demolish the targets. Still, the air forces and the defense forces and also the satellite units are doing whatever is possible for it not to take place. Yurii, maybe the most disseminated issue which worries all of the Ukrainians How many missiles are left in Russia? Everybody asks that. No one can give you the precise and specific answer. There are some of the assumptions and data of the intelligence. Our intelligence of the Ministry of Defense has the data from the West as well. So obviously, not all of the information can be made public about the number of those missiles in the media. Still, the answer can be the following. It's indirect, but just the food for contemplation. If they do not use these long-range, high-precision and extremely expensive weapons for several months, then they are almost out of it. So they need to keep it for the most important targets and objects which they point in their terroristic activity. Those are the objects they are targeting now. The objects of critical infrastructure, in particular the power stations, and lots of aspects of our life depend on them. This is the answer, because the use of the S-300 missile, which strikes the land targets, and HA-22, mostly the civilians are affected by those types of missiles, of the zones close to the front line. Yurii, yesterday the United States of America promised to provide us with the system of the anti-missile defense, which are modern systems. What can you tell about that? And are our warriors ready to instantly work using those systems? We were promised long time ago, and there are decisions taken about these systems. The first steps were already done, because you've heard the statement of Germany that there will be new systems delivered very soon, even the one of them from Germany. But unfortunately, this is just the first system which was produced of such type, of such class, which Ukraine will have, not a single other country in the world. It won't be so far enough, but we hope to have the long-term cooperation with the producer from Germany, which will strengthen us and our air defense system with these systems. And in the same way, it concerns the NASAMS. This is the Norwegian system with American missiles, which the United States have enough of them to provide us with this help. The issue is that when and how many of them we will need. And will the Norwegian manufacturer provide us with? So far we are speaking about 2 systems which our partners can deliver. As for the bigger number, I think that we need to involve all of the diplomats in our community to get to the countries which have these systems, for them to help us strengthen our air defense system. So I think that the higher command of our state will deal with that with our partners. Dear colleagues, are there any questions? Please, the mic. Hello, Maria Honchar, Ukrinform. I've got the following question. Today you've said on air that out of those air defense systems which we were given, they are not enough to fully cover the territory of Ukraine. What's the minimum number of these systems which we need then? I wouldn't like to name a precise number, but we need a lot. If we would like those modern systems to replace the obsolete samples which we have, and those are the air defense systems S-300, Buk M1. Those are the samples of the 70s, the 80s, of the design and manufacturing, which is obsolete. So this equipment is working now. We can see it is working, but it's not eternal. The war is ongoing. We could have some losses. There can be some of the problems and issues with the equipment which won't be that easy to maintain and repair. And the producer of the ammunition for these systems is exclusively Russia. So soon we'll have to say goodbye to those systems, and we'll provide the transition to the air assault systems of Iris and NASAMS, which is, for instance, the long-term perspective, but still we don't have any other way out. We need lots of them. The territory of Ukraine is incredibly big, so it's very hard to cover such a long distance, and to create, especially with such neighbor and even two neighbors, the proper defense system. This is an incredibly important issue, the issue of our survival. You could see what is taking place in the cities when we do not have the air assault and missile systems. That is Izum, that is Mariupol, where the aircrafts are just grinding down to earth, one block after another. The same happened in Syria, where the occupiers showed their real face. The same happened in Chechnya. So the air defense system is the issue which we need to solve, and the Western systems can work in the unified system. What the radar of one producer sees in Iris, the same can be seen in the radar by NASAMS. The information can be shared rapidly. That is incredibly efficient when they work against some of the targets. Those are really powerful and high-quality missiles with high maneuver capability. The issue is the number of them. We need to get them and to provide our systems. Are there any other questions left? There are no questions. Yurii, I thank you that you found time and joined our air. I do remind you we had Yurii Ihnat, Speaker of the Air Forces Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Dear colleagues, I do remind you our next briefing will take place at 2:30 p.m. We'll be joined by Alexander Horunji, Press Officer of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. So stay with us.